Absolutely, much more dire. The 35,000 number is not totally correct. And we're really much more up over 100,000 people who are going to be living without a paycheck. We've done some things to try to keep some benefits in place, but this is an unraveling. And what happens from this, too, is service cuts to the communities, which could shut down small airports as well and cause a ripple effect of job loss there and the job loss of all the economic activity that happens around that airport too. So we're talking about well over 100,000 right away and then a cascade down from there.
Sarah, it's Julie here. Thanks for joining us. So as you talk to your constituents, to flight attendants who are bracing for this, I'm curious what their plans are. Are people planning to collect unemployment? Are they planning to look for other jobs potentially? Because we don't know how long this is all going to last, or do they have other plans?
So what's really concerning is that, a lot of people ask me how this compares to 9/11. And we had an immediate cut of 20% of our workforce then, and people were out on the streets immediately. They had other places to go. The problem right now is that there is so much unemployment and so few jobs to go to that people are literally saying they don't have another plan. They're out there looking. They're talking about it. They're talking about filing for unemployment. Without that plus up, of course, that's not enough to get by. And also without health insurance, people are very, very concerned about how they're going to take care of their families. There's just not other options out there during this pandemic. And so people are saying this has got to pass or else I'm out. I'm a single mother with no way to take care of my kids. And what they're really talking about is moving their stuff in their car because they don't have another option. And driving, hopefully, to another family member to live with. I mean, these are the kinds of things that are going on. And it's really disheartening when you have people who are battling very serious illnesses in the middle of this and looking at losing their health insurance. There are just not options. And the human suffering here is extraordinary. And I think that we have gotten a lot of attention in the airline industry, but we are just one example of what's happening throughout sectors across the economy and for millions of people.
Jared Blickery here, and I definitely hear that pain. Is there any provision for long-term retraining or any kind of placement efforts to get people who are out of jobs right now back into something, even if it's only temporary, and then for the longer term, being able to prepare for perhaps a different career?
Well, I'll tell you, there is going to be a recovery of the airline industry. We know that. And the ranks will slim down. There are some people who have taken early retirement. There will be more people. If we can get this PSP extension for another 6 months, there will be more people who qualify for retirement, qualify for Medicare, and can take those options. So there's going to be smaller airlines, but we're going to recover. And this is the career that people have chosen. They want to come back to that. And the airline industry will recover. We just need a period of time where we can get 6 months closer to a vaccine, 6 months closer to a testing regimen, to a return to normalcy, and to a place where the airline industry is normally having better demand in the spring and summer months. So retraining is a big concern because actually there has to be retraining to get people back into those jobs when that demand does return. And if we have the loss of these jobs now, what we're talking about is certified, security credentialed, safety certified people who will have to go back through retraining. And when the economy wants to start back up again, the airlines will not be able to meet that demand right away because that will take months or years to get people back into place.
Sarah, the analysts at Raymond James have said if a stimulus bill gets out of Congress that's greater than $2 trillion, the airlines would be included. Less than $2 trillion, they would be squeezed out. What are you hearing from lawmakers as you and other airline industry folk lobby Congress to do something? Is this going to happen before October 1?
So I am feeling way more optimistic yesterday than I was the day before and today. There are discussions going on right now for a coronavirus relief bill, and that was not happening before. And that's real. It's not just a Democratic package that's being put together. We are hearing that our provision and our deadline is really what's pushing this because it is a hard deadline of October 1st. And oftentimes Washington or any negotiations need a hard deadline. So we are hearing that any overall coronavirus relief bill our payroll support extension will be included no matter what. There is tremendous bipartisan support. The president wants this, has been clear about that. Other White House staff have been clear about that. So we are very confident that as we push forward on our PSP extension and the deadline of October 1, what we're really doing is helping to get relief to the rest of the country. And we're hearing from the business community about what a hit the business community has taken with the loss of the $600 plus up. People were spending into the economy. Some of these businesses were getting by because of those unemployment checks. So the whole country needs this relief, and it's our package that's really going to drive getting this done.
Sarah, Dan Roberts here. I just want to wrap on an anecdotal question for you. You mentioned your confidence that the airline industry will come back, and of course we can all predict exactly what it'll require for it to really come back, but it's all about demand and getting American consumers to feel comfortable again. I'm just curious, you know, it's taking a long time, and we're still in a period where even as some states emerge and some people begin to take trips for pleasure, there's a lot of shaming, a lot of people saying, you know, oh my God, how could you get on a plane? Even with all the safety measures the airlines insist they're taking. So when you are in conversations and chatting with people not in your industry, what do you say to people who say, oh, you know, how could people be flying right now? What do you say to encourage people to get back in the skies?
Well, let's be really clear. So over Labor Day, we had a 50% demand or 50% capacity of what we had a year ago, but 25% of the revenue. So even as leisure travel might pick up a little bit, we don't see that business travel. And we don't see that business travel because people don't have a place to go to. Restaurants are not open. These businesses have canceled all of their conventions. So we're going to have to see a return of the rest of the country, the rest of the economy, to get people back on planes. I have to tell you, I think that is more the issue actually than the safety issue. The airlines and the airports have done a really good job of having a controlled environment. It's one of the safest places that you can be outside of staying directly in your home. And it's really more about the demand because of the other impacts of coronavirus and people not having those business meetings, not having something to go to a casino, to restaurants, to a resort. And so all of those things are going to have to return for the airline industry to return. And that is about the overall effect of coronavirus and how effective we are as a country of taking that on.
Sarah Nelson is the president of the Association of Flight Attendants.